Compensation Lawyers traffic topper.
Bill Shorten has kick-started the unofficial election campaign, unveiling Labor's big spending education policy on the first full day of school for the year. He's pledging to spend billions of extra dollars funding the Gonski model in full and more. Catalina Flores is in Canberra for us with more on this story tonight. Catalina, does this put the squeeze on the Prime Minister then?
Well, Sandra, it does put the Prime Minister in an uncomfortable position. The Coalition hasn't yet detailed how it plans to fund the final Gonski years. It maintains spending more money on schools doesn't necessarily translate into better results. While Cabinet was locked away in its first meeting of the year, Bill Shorten fired the first election year shot.
It is only Labor who will put your children's future first.
After weeks of failing to land a blow with its anti-GST campaign, Labor's turned to its traditionally stronger area of education, pledging $4.5 billion for the final Gonski years as part of a $37 billion plan over the decade.
This is about a permanent shift to ensure that Australia's schools and Australian students have the resources and the support that they need to get the education that they deserve.
The package promises to return Australia to the top 5 countries in reading, maths and science through more individual attention to students and better trained teachers.
All my children attend public schools and I think that there's definitely not enough funding in those at the moment.
And obviously got to make the budget balanced, but schools should always be a priority.
Labor claims to pay for it through already announced savings. The government is unconvinced.
We've consistently, as a country, state and Commonwealth governments, spent ever more on school education and yet have been getting poorer results.
While the Turnbull government has criticised Labor's policy as short on detail, it's still unclear how or if it will fund the final Gonski years, the Education Minister sticking by his plan to consult first and spend later.
We'll focus relentlessly on getting the best outcomes for students.
So, Sandra, an election showdown looms on education, but the government is well aware of the budget constraints, and that would have formed a large part of today's cabinet discussions, including where they go from here on tax reform.
OK, Catalina, thank you.